Hey everyone, if you ever think about what is the most rare resource that you have, you might think it's money or some sort of asset, but in fact for all of us it's time, right? Time is the only thing that we can never get back. And so every now and then I think it's extremely crucial for all of us to think about what we're doing with our time, what we're spending it on, and if that's the best use of our time. So I recently did that after a very long day of calls, and I was a bit frustrated because I felt like even though I had been in calls and I had done things all day, I had connected with interesting people and I had connected with entrepreneurs and helped them work on their companies, I didn't feel like I had gotten to the most important things of that day. And so very often what I've realized is that I plan things for my calendar and then something urgent and important comes up, but I can't take care of it because of everything that I've already scheduled. In the last 6 months since Corona, one of the biggest benefits for me has been that now I don't need to travel to board meetings anymore, and now we don't necessarily have to meet for lunch anymore. We can just get on a call, 30 minutes, 25 minutes, and connect and exchange ideas. The downside of what I've realized is that I've automated a lot of this process of how people can book my time in the afternoon. And so very often I end up with 4 afternoons in the week, Monday through Thursday, fully booked from like 1 p.m. till 8 p.m., which means about 14 different calls every day, 4 days in a row. That's almost 60 calls, and that is exhausting. Even though I don't regret having any of those calls because it was always interesting, I did realize that it's probably not the best use of my time because I often felt a bit frustrated in the evening. So I thought long and hard about what I could do, and I've tried some things that didn't really work, and I realized that a more radical solution is needed. And so I've decided to not have scheduled calls anymore. What does that mean? From now on, I'm not going to schedule calls. I am going to be available to chat over Twitter and Instagram and email and Slack and all these different asynchronous channels. Because one thing that I've realized is that very often talking time is not very balanced. Often it's either someone telling me a lot and then me just answering in a few words, or vice versa. I download a lot of my information into someone else's brain and they merely get to listen. And in that scenario, for most cases, I'd much rather capture that information anyway so that I can not only share it with that specific entrepreneur, but with a lot of entrepreneurs at the same time. So my decision was that I want to communicate more through asynchronous channels. I want to keep my calendar open so I can be more spontaneous and take care of the things that are most important and urgent, not just what's planned. And last but not least, I want to be spontaneous with calls. So I'm not going to have no calls. I just don't want to plan them days in advance. I just want to be able to jump on a call when it makes sense, because there's definitely those kind of conversations where it's easiest to be synchronous, to go back and forth, easy channel to quickly brainstorm and exchange ideas. So going forward, if you want to reach out to me over Twitter, email, or Slack if you're already on our Slack, or use WhatsApp if you have my number. Those are the channels where I'll respond. I'll treat this as an experiment, meaning I don't know if I'm going to keep doing no calls or no planned calls for the next month or 3 months or 6 months. I just know that for now I want to give this a try, and I want to experiment with how it feels and what adjustments I want to make in order to make it the most valuable, both for you, the person I'm connecting with, as well as to make the most out of my time. If you have any ideas for how you're handling calls, how do you connect with a lot of people in a very short time frame, and what channels you use, what kind of medias you use, what you've learned about when it's best to use synchronous versus asynchronous channels, all of that would be super valuable for me in this moment. So if you have any ideas and experiences, please let me know. I'll also attach a link to a document where I share a bit more of my thoughts and some FAQs. And with that, have a beautiful day, stay curious, and I'll talk to you soon. Hey, if you like this video and you would like to do me a huge favor, then please smash that like button and subscribe. That's great for the YouTube algorithm and more people will see it. It will also make sure you will get to see all the upcoming videos on essentialism and entrepreneurship. And if there's a question or topic you would like me to cover, please let me know in the comments.